House File 3169, do you want to move that bill? Tell us what it's about. We've got a couple testifiers, and
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House File 3169 is a bill that would set requirements for a study on barriers for suicide prevention on bridges. So the previous bill had a substantial fiscal note. The interested parties, we've had a conversation with the Department of Transportation, and we've come up with a way in which we can make this happen for zero cost. So we'll be saving people's lives by preventing their ability to commit suicide on MnDOT property or bridges and infrastructure, and I think that's altogether a really wonderful thing. Thank you, Mr. Chair. If we can take the DE amendment.
the Representative Olson offers the DE1 amendment. All those in favor of the DE1 amendment signify by saying aye, or any discussion? He explained it. All those in favor of the DE1 amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The amendment is adopted. You have two testifiers. And one online. We have, trying to remember. Mr. Mishi and Ms. Weiss-Blair, and then online we'll go to Ms. Morello. Welcome to the committee. You've been here before. Thank you for your work. Please introduce yourself and then proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My remarks will be brief. My name is Eric Mishi. I'm the CEO of SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education. We are a 36-year-old Minnesota-based national suicide prevention nonprofit. First, I want to say thank you to Representative Olson for carrying this bill forward and the amendment, as well as the Minnesota Department of Transportation, and particularly Melissa Schultz, who has worked very hard and collaboratively with us and others to put together this public policy. We wholeheartedly endorse this policy. It will, for the first time, put in statute the requirements that we integrate best practices, pedestrian safety, and suicide prevention measures on public bridges in the state of Minnesota. This is an extraordinary opportunity to save lives. I want to thank you for your support and your work in the Washington Avenue Bridge last year, and this is a continuation of that kind of policy so that it is a full-blown policy across the state rather than a one-off project time and time again. So on behalf of SAVE, thank you, and we support this unconditionally.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll go to Ms. M.J. Weiss-Blair.
Hi, I'm M.J. Weiss-Blair. I am Kayla's mom. Chair Kosnick and members of this committee, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to testify. The passage of this bill is profoundly important to me because it addresses a preventable public health crisis that has touched my life in ways that are difficult to put into words. When a bridge becomes the site of a tragedy, it doesn't end with a statistic. It ripples outward through families, friends, first responders, and communities. These losses are not abstract. They are deeply human, deeply painful, and deeply permanent. What makes this bill so meaningful is that it transforms that pain into action. It acknowledges that infrastructure is not just concrete and steel. It is part of the environment people move through during their most vulnerable moments. By requiring consistent data collection, clear criteria, and evidence-based safety measures, this bill ensures that Minnesotans respond to these tragedies with compassion, responsibility, and foresight. Minnesotans deserve that level of care. Suicide barriers work. They interrupt suicidal ideation. They give others the chance to intervene. They save lives. I believe in hope and believe that this state legislative group can rise up to support the needs of our state and pass House File 3169. Hope starts here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here and your testimony. We'll go to our online testifier, Ms. Morello.
Morello, yes, thank you. Chair
Hi.
Kosnick and members of the committee. I'm Trish Morello. I'm speaking to you remotely because I'm out of state. I actually work with the folks before you in a couple of capacities. I'm co-founder of the Coalition for Suicide Prevention and Public Infrastructure, CSPPI, an advocacy group formed with MJ Weiss Blair and the group from SAVE. As mothers who both lost children to suicide at Bridges, it was natural as we got to know each other to team up and try to do work on a broader scale. We're not alone. There are many family members all over this country trying to prevent further suicides at public structures where their loved ones were lost. Our work with CSPPI focuses on bringing these groups together to work to change policy. We're currently building support on the federal level as well for the Barriers to Suicide Act, a bipartisan bill introduced in the House aiming to reduce suicides at high-risk structures like bridges, buildings, and rail stations. My son John was just 17 when he died by suicide at the Natchez Trace Parkway Bridge inside a national park near Nashville, Tennessee. Middle of his senior year of high school, a darling, gifted student, just a beautiful boy who just also happened to suffer from severe depression. We soon found out that many people died by suicide at this bridge, that the community at large was relatively unaware, and that nothing was being done about it. So I and others in the community rallied, and with the help of the local community, with local media, with the state and federal legislature, we were successful in getting a barrier put up on the Natchez Trace Bridge. That went up in 2022, and I am thrilled to report to you that it has been extremely effective. When someone is in a suicidal crisis, their best ally is time. Any few extra seconds or minutes or hours, just something to let that darkness lift just a little can mean the difference between life and death. We so often talk about why someone died by suicide, but rarely how did they die by suicide. So in supporting House File 3169, I applaud you if you do. The state of Minnesota would be at the forefront of a growing proactive approach by state agencies to treat bridge safety as a public health issue, not just a structural one. So thank you for your time. Thank you to Representative Olson for introducing the bill. It's an honor to get a few minutes before you here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any member questions, discussion? Seeing none, I appreciate what the bill does. Representative Olson, do you want to wrap up your bill, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the committee for the consideration of this bill that, although spending no money, will have actual measurable results. Thank you.
Would you like to renew your motion,
I would renew
please?
my motion.
Representative renews his motion to move House File 3169 as amended to the General Register. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion prevails. The bill is going to the General Register.